Hi there and welcome to the House of Me. We are so excited today to be joined by our customer PixelLogic. They have recently migrated some of their workloads to AWS and they're going to share the story with us today. Let me introduce to you our guest. I'm joined by Craig Seidel, the CTO of PixelLogic, and Rick Soto, the Senior Vice President of IT and Global Security. So I thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. I'm so excited for you to be able to come and share your story. To get started, let's share with the audience a little bit about PixelLogic. Tell us what you can about what you're doing in the media space.
PixelLogic focuses on end-to-end services, which means we want to be able to do everything the customer might need to get their creative work on the screen. And that involves a certain amount of media processing, which is called distribution authoring. It's getting everything just right and ready for where it's going to play, right for the cinema, right for a disc, right for streaming. We also do a lot of localization. So that might be text on screen, it might be subtitles, it might be dubbing, it might be other things that have to be tweaked for particular cultural or even legal requirements. We also do creative work. It might be like creating bonus material, or it might be something more sophisticated, like if in a territory that doesn't allow showing smoking, we might actually remove cigarettes from someone's hands.
What challenges were you looking to solve when you were contemplating a move to the cloud?
There's a whole range of problems. One of them is that we're a worldwide company. We have offices in different time zones all around the world, and we wanted everyone to be able to work on the same content. We actually work around the clock, where we'll start something in Burbank and it'll get passed to Cairo, passed to Cape Town, passed to Tokyo, and so forth. Everyone needs to be able to access the content. Before we went to the cloud, we had to physically move files from place to place if different people were going to work on it. And there's a whole bunch of technical issues and time issues and delays and other things that go along with that. An important area of the cloud offers us is scalability. There's no way we can build out a physical plant that would have the scalability of the cloud.
Can you tell me about sort of what were the benefits that you were looking to achieve?
There's a lot of reliability that needs to happen within the infrastructure, right? For us, having the ability to have a central location where we can have high availability, scalability, as well as compute in our hands as we need it, that's a big part for us really moving a lot of our workflow into a cloud-based environment.
And what were the considerations that you had to think about in migrating those workloads?
Security is extremely important for us, not only us for the organization, but for our industry as well. So having the ability to safeguard our assets, our compute, our infrastructure, our cloud infrastructure, as well as our hybrid infrastructure, of having the ability to actually service our content in the cloud as well as on-prem, it was a big consideration for us.
One important aspect of security is identity and access management. And we, I think, take full advantage of the shared security model where AWS worries about some things and we worry about some things. Amazon's been very helpful with their migration assistance program, and it's been useful. We've been working with Mission and Trackit in this as part of this program, and it provides expertise that we don't have. And it's allowed us to move much more quickly and allowed us to define patterns for migration that we can then reuse for other pieces of software.
Tell me about getting started with your migrations.
Well, a big part of that was training. AWS put together a training program for us that went all the way from executives down to engineers. I took a class, Rick took a class, everyone took a class. And it was really helpful because it got us all on the same level. We could throw around terms like IMS and shared security model and so forth, all based on that training, and that allowed us to move forward.
One of the things that we hear from customers who think about migrating to the cloud is sometimes there's some internal resistance, whether that's from those who would be utilizing the services having to make change, or maybe from executives who are uncomfortable with that change. Did you face any of that here?
Well, when PixelLogic was founded, and we're a relatively new company, part of our DNA or part of our founding principles was to use technology. And so our staff is very used to the idea of more and more technology being thrown at them to do their jobs. So the move to a different technology, on-prem to cloud, really wasn't a source of resistance. Where we do have resistance is people are very time pressured. There's quick turnaround work. They have settled into ways of doing things. And when we say things like, it's no longer going to be in a server in this directory, it's going to be somewhere up in the cloud and you're going to access it that way. It's not so much that it's disconcerting to them, but it does require a little bit of adaptation.
I'd love to help share with the audience, what are the kinds of benefits that you've seen so far from the recent migrations?
So one of our biggest benefits that we saw was actually the increase in throughput, right? So bandwidth capacity at our fingertips, we could tune that up, minimizing the challenges that we have within a physical-based server room, machine room, and within our own facilities.
For those customers or not yet customers of AWS who are thinking about a migration to the cloud, what sort of advice would you have for them?
So I would suggest that people, understand what they're trying to accomplish, and then they can develop their cloud strategy to accomplish those specific goals.
I think leveraging industry professionals, AWS strategists that have done this in the past. We actually worked with an industry strategist that helped us along the path to making a decision of what the migration would actually look like.
What's next for Pixelogic?
We're just grinding through it. We have a lot of applications to move. They have to be migrated, tested, deployed, and it's a very rewarding process, but it does take time.
Thank you, gentlemen. I really appreciate your time and explaining to me what you went through in your cloud migration to AWS. And we hope that all of you enjoyed joining House of Me today. Thank you again to our guests from Pixelogic, and we'll see you again next time.